Alrighty. So, new patch dropped, it's late at night, and my sleep schedule's already screwed up, so let's go ahead and get all of this done. It's a lot of MSQ stuff. Let's see how this works out. Don't know anything much but beyond what has already happened. Hopefully my eye level is going to be good enough if there are any battles that I have to worry about, that I can just take care of them. But for now, let's see how it goes. I won't be, this will be part 1, at least until I get home from work tomorrow. Tassos, you heading to the back room? Let's proceed to the back room. Gosan is helping us coordinate efforts with the administration here in Alexandria. We have to work hand in hand to ensure that the people can get back to their normal lives. I worry about Golul Jah, though. I know he's still frustrated that he couldn't do anything to stop the machines. If only there was a way to take his mind off things. I'll dedicate myself first to healing magic so I may help treat people's wounds. It will be a time-consuming process to reacquire my abilities, but a necessary one that I dare not rush, even though there's no telling when Calyx will make his next move. Sphene is, as I understand, the Garnet analog from Final Fantasy IX. I have yet to play that one. I know that's a sin, but nevertheless, it's on my to-do list. The equipment here didn't try starting to kill me, but it did start acting up while I was in the middle of my work. One of my finest pieces, ruined, just like that, as if the power outage wasn't bad enough. We set up patrols outside, so I came back here to see how things are. Fortunately, he stopped their rampaging hover carriers, and we have to deal with delays in electrope transport and slowdowns in production. The complications will likely continue for some time. I should probably relax my voice, because if I try to enunciate a little bit too much, things get a bit weird. So we'll see how my sloppier accent works. Raha and Alphino patrol the city, while Ishtola and LSA continue treating Levensignus and those injured in the attack. I shall stay here to help coordinate efforts, so I suggest taking the opportunity to get some rest. I couldn't fight them, and I couldn't even get my authority back when it was stolen, so what good am I? I need to find a way to be more useful. Targeted tragedy. Shell wishes for a moment of your time. You have a moment, Samari. Geode wants to take stock of the current crisis. Oblivion may be lacking the finer details in certain areas, so we'd like you to lend your perspective to the conversation. Sorry to drag you into our meeting, but we need to get a better handle on the threats Alexandria is facing right now. Not at all. Much has happened since the state funeral, and a clearer idea of where things stand would be beneficial for us as well. First things first, then. Let's discuss the state of the machine malfunctions. Every single sector reported instances of sentries attacking citizens without provocation, and vehicles suddenly becoming unresponsive to controls. And while these malfunctions were resolved fairly quickly, they nevertheless resulted in a considerable number of injuries and deaths. But you haven't heard anything about new incidents since then, right? Right. No additional reports have been logged, as far as I know. That's the good news. The bad news is, I tried to take control of the soldiers when they started hurting people, but they wouldn't listen to me, even though I have the king's authority. Once things calmed down, I was finally able to make them give up their weapons, but if it happens again, I don't know if they'll ignore me like before. The King of Resolve's authority is about the highest there is. Who is this man that can override it with such impunity? Calyx. He lived in the age of the storm surge, as I did. Lest you forget, he was known for his advancements in electrope technology, and it was he who established preservation for the purpose of furthering his research. The wasting disease which afflicted him, however, was said to leave him scant years left to live. He must have chosen to undergo conversion into an endless, that he might continue his efforts into the present day. Preservation's early goals seemed noble enough, exploring treatments for leaven sickness, designing Everkeep's core system, that sort of thing. Why harm the people he was ostensibly trying to help? I do not pretend to fully understand Calyx's motivations, only that he appeared incensed by what he saw as mankind's failings. He asserted that the strategy of adapting our species through a generational succession was outdated, that evolution now requires us to forsake bodies of flesh in favor of eternal preservation. We've already seen how he's employed the simulant to convince Alexandrians that endless conversion is their only hope for survival. Eternal life is assured for the 5,000 who register their neo-regulators. But this is merely one part of Calyx's greater plan. He wants the key to interdimensional fusion. With that relic in his possession, he will draw ether from the reflections and expend his efforts to create endless 1,000-fold. If we mean to foil Calyx's schemes, then our only option is to determine where he's hiding and put him down. Which, unfortunately, is easier said than done. I've been scouring the terminal we found in the depths of Everkeep, but I failed to uncover even the slightest trace of his activities. Give me a little more time, though, and I'm sure I can sniff him out. I'll help you. While Golulja and Shale are working on that, I think I'm going to take a look around town. I want to make sure no new problems have cropped up, as well as search for any information that might lead us to Calyx. You're welcome to come along. Another malfunction could happen at any time, and I'd be glad to have some brawlers at my back. Count me in. Raha and the others are helping Oblivion patrol the other levels of the keep, so shall we stick to the streets of Solution 9? Sounds like a plan. Thanks, you two. I appreciate the company. I have to speak with the city's administrators about bringing in the Lance Guard. I want our soldiers around to protect those who are moving to Tuliolong. Alphino and Alice will be joining me for the meeting, so the three of us can cover that sector as soon as we're done. If I may, I'd like to join Samari's group, if you'll have me. The more mouths to ask questions, the merrier, as long as you're aware of the dangers. Thank you. I'll do my best not to be a burden. I'm more worried about you, Geode. Don't do anything stupid. Pfft, you'll change your tune once we get back with the goods on Calyx. Then the drinks are on you. Come on, let's continue this outside. All right. Good luck with your patrol, and take your time. We can do without Geode until you're done with the old sot. Sorry. Just when I think I've internalized better manners, talking with Geode brings back all the old bad habits. I wish I could grow up faster. There'll be so much more I can do when I'm bigger, like you. It seems the machines have gone quiet again, so I can get back to maintaining the weapons around here. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, as they say. Alright. I forgot to talk to the others. Sorry, I was off in my own little world. Shall we get started? Does people seem uneasy? Are you all right, Geode? Let's see what there is to see. Oh, are you all right? Me? I'm well enough, given the circumstances. It was the Queen's fondest wish that her subjects remain shielded from the horrors of death, and so they were for the longest time. Then, the moment mortality once again becomes an unavoidable fact of life, they're greeted with an outbreak of bloody violence. Many are bound to give the endless alternative serious consideration. Indeed, and I do not blame them for that, it is only natural that such thoughts should come to mind. What I cannot forgive is the way Calyx wields fear and misery to manipulate people into making that choice. No one, not Calyx nor anyone else, should dictate how we cope with the specter of death. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to put the choices for this country's future back into the hands of its citizens. And you think we can handle that responsibility? After everything you've seen of us? It is what I've seen that has convinced me that you can. I awoke 4 centuries later to find our people living and laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it so. You all deserve to be happy. Well then. We'd best not let you down. Now, I suggest we move as a group. We don't know if or when a battle might find us. Oh, I believe someone came prepared for just such an eventuality. Oh! Is that the grimoire you retrieved from the old castle? Yes. My parents gifted it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect the things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in the arcane arts, so I lay claim to some small measure of skill. If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. 'Twould certainly be more efficient for information gathering. I, guess that makes sense. The 2 of you can take the west side of the recreation zone, then. Samari and I will take the east. Very well. We shall end our patrol in the plaza just past True View and await you there. Now that's a little unusual. The 2 main characters or more prominent secondary characters are going off on their own. Okay. Let's do the rounds then. We'll see what's what and chat with the people we meet along the way. Pay special attention to anyone who looks overwhelmed or overly excited. Hopefully that will return us a tidbit or 2 that we didn't know before. Oh. That's right, they added in a huge amount of tutorials. I'm guessing you would have preferred to go with Sphene and Kryl, but I'm afraid you're stuck with me. I grow on people, though. I promise. Okay. Somber citizen. Are the sentries and air wheelers safe to be around now? I just know it's going to happen again, and maybe next time I'll be the one who dies in a horrible accident. I need a neo-regulator. Becoming endless is the only way. Even Queen Sphene said so. Light-hearted citizen. What has me in such a fine mood, you ask? Well, I've just registered my new regulator. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that I've gone through the registration, I've never felt more at ease. Also, once it was done, the regulator displayed the current numbers. Of the 5,000 slots available, over 3,800 have already been filled. If you're still hesitant, you've not much time to make your mind up. Mark my words, friend, when there's only a few slots left, it's going to get very ugly. Let's keep it down there. Discuss True View. Ah, the memories. I used to drink around here all the time. I made sure not to overdo it when I had work the next day, but once we were past the busy season, or when the ladies weren't amenable to my company, well, you'd have to scrape me off the street outside in the morning, or afternoon. The worst I ever got was on what I should have been the worst day of my life, if only I could remember it. I was still wearing a regulator back then. It was also the day I first met Shale, although I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. Geode and Shale. You want to hear my story? While I appreciate you offering a sympathetic ear, there's not much to tell. If you must know, a good friend of mine died when those machines went crazy. His air wheeler dropped right out of the sky and he didn't survive the crash. Damn fool wasn't wearing a regulator. I know that's not so strange these days, but he'd never bothered with one. He was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant, until it happened. Somari, a word. Feel like there was a new factor in these stories we've heard, ones we hadn't considered during our discussion with everyone in the back room. That people are still deathly afraid, that fights are likely to break out over the neo-regulators, or that a victim of the violence wasn't wearing a regulator. Yeah, I know that there will be. We already knew they were afraid, and they knew that people weren't wearing regulators, so it has to be that the violence will break out over the new ones. The fact that nearly 4,000 people have registered is worthy of its own report, but are you sure there wasn't anything else? Both of these things have been discussed. Maybe? Yes, that's it. The vast majority of residents have always worn regulators, so it's not a detail we'd normally think about. With the supply of souls cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look into the casualties from the recent attacks, and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Let's ask around on the street over to the east. It was pretty chaotic at the time, but maybe we'll find eyewitnesses who can help us confirm if this was a pattern or not. Aside from Oblivion members, only a handful of people used to go out and about without regulators. How times have changed. Discuss the hover cargo. It was once my job to deliver goods by hover cargo. That's why I know a fair number of names and faces throughout the city. The little ones who'd jump for joy when I brought them packages. The old lady who'd always greet me with a smile. I'd hate for anything bad to happen to them. Unarmed sentry. Hello, how are you today? Please let me know if I may be of service. City-wide casualty data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. Can you narrow it down to the recreation zone then? We must have some estimates on hand. Recalibrating parameters. Injured, 87 individuals. Casualties, 19 individuals. Casualties equipped with irregulators, 0. Unsettled sanitation worker. You wish to know if the people who died in the machine rampage were wearing regulators? I'm sorry, but I was assigned to cleaning away debris. I didn't see any of the deceased. No bodies were present by the time I arrived, so I assumed the ushers had already done their work. I do remember there being patches of white dust scattered about where there was quite a chore to clean up, but nothing else worthy of mention. Samari, I think it's time we joined Kryl and Sven. I was half joking with my boast to Shale, but we may have stumbled upon something major here. We should share our findings and keep pursuing this avenue of inquiry. Didn't Kryl say to meet them in the plaza just outside to review? Let's get going. I'm getting into narrative voice again. I need to relax my voice. Make it sound a little bit more natural, I suppose. Problem with that is my natural speak speed is pretty fast, which is not good. What? We finished our patrol as well. Did it not seem that more people wanted neo-regulators than before? So, essentially, you're saying that the people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators. Well, the numbers are still tentative and only apply to that one zone, but we don't know how they'll stack up against the overall data, but this is definitely more than coincidence. I think it's safe to say that anyone who had removed their regulator was a priority target. Now that you mention it, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? Their deaths will be remembered, because they weren't wearing regulators. Based solely on the lack of a neo-regulator, we cannot judge if a person has no desire to become endless, or if they simply failed to acquire one of the limited devices. But those who wear no regulator at all, they have clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. Put another way, they have chosen to live their lives in the knowledge that death is an inevitability. The chances that such resolute people would wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. And so Calyx has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. But there was no need to kill anyone. With the way things were, the people were already fearful enough. He could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. Make a good point. Perhaps this sowing of terror is in service to another scheme, or he had some other need for the lives he's taken. What are the dust found at various sites, or could something have been done to the victims? Hmm. Could something have been done to the victims? I wonder, what about that sanitation worker's story? She saw no bodies, but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust, but no bodies? Now, where have I heard that before? Do you recall when we went to save Erenville from the sentries in the outskirts? That Usher Malachite told us much the same thing. When I arrived, I found no body, only a pile of dust, which the wind quickly scattered. Confused, I questioned the residents, but none knew what had become of it. That both stories speak of missing remains is suspicious enough, but the shared mention of this dust is too much to ignore. In that case, we should confirm if this substance was present at either sites, and attempt to ascertain its nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to an explanation for the missing bodies, but also the intent behind Calyx's murderous actions. So Mari, we need your help. I've lost control over the soldiers in the residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Oblivion members are on their way now, but are you close enough to join them? Damn it! Our new investigation will have to wait. Let's go. Oh. Oh, jeez.
Stay back! Stay away from me!
Leave him alone!
Are you all right?
What happened here?
A sentry walked into my apartment, even though I'd locked the door and everything. I managed to run, but the man who tried to save me...
No weapons, which is to be expected, considering all the sentries were meant to be disarmed. Yet it was ordered to attack all the same, even if that meant using its bare hands.
I'll leave matters here to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
Do you know anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
Oh, I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Oh, hell no.
Go to them, quickly!
No, wait. LSA was there. LSA had to have been there. Oh.
Wyaquay! I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape.
Oh, jeez.
Mother! Mother, please! Isadora!
Damn, I should have been on a healer class for this.
Oh, thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital. I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner. Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
I knew it! I knew he was gonna recognize her.
Thank you, miss.
Because he had already kind of recognized her before.
Will she sleep like that forever? No, not forever. She'll wake soon, I'm sure of it. That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
This is supposed to be the last part of the Dawn Trail quest before the pre-expansion stuff starts to happen. Oh, music's changed. She should recover in due course. I'm glad we arrived when we did. When I was sick and couldn't move, my mother was always at my side, always keeping me company, and now I'm going to do the same for her. Forgive me, I was reckless. You shouldn't have had to waste time tending my wounds as well. But did you see our other comrade back there? He stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard sounds of fighting. I'm sorry, he must have fallen protecting the residents. Tacos de carne asada, mesquite soup, creamy alpaca pasta, and a broccoli and spinach saute. It's alright, I'll just take the money. Not that I really need it. For their sakes, I have to remain calm. The endless choice. Wyaquay is fearful for her comrade. Our comrade, do you think he may have been struck down? If he is wounded or worse, I should go to him. Wait, please. It isn't safe and you still need rest. Would you stay with Milos and watch over Isadora for me? We will tend to your friend. Thank you. Please be careful of yourself. Isadora and Milos had completed their applications to leave the dome and were practically out the door when all this happened. We'll make sure they're taken care of the moment Isadora is ready to travel. Why? Why is this happening? That man, This is awful. Isadora is going to be alright then. I'm so glad. I've just finished my ministrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond for saving, I'm afraid. That brave soul, he gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. That sentry was behaving normally, like any other. Then, all of a sudden, it tried to kill me. Weapons or no, Calyx commanded them to commit murder. Is it over? We came as soon as Wayakwe sent word. I'm sorry, but by the time we arrived it was already too late. Then Geode could be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. But why? Has something happened? Possibly. We're not sure what, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector, though, at least until we regain control over the sentries. Now that doesn't make any sense. He was with us. We all went together. And then we should search for Geode. I agree. Since most Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, then they could be prime targets for the next attack. Please, do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. Our thanks. Here, take these communicators. I don't think I've heard this theme. Well, this variant on the theme anyway. It's the Dawn Trail theme, but I don't think I remember this version. We've made modifications to them to prevent Calyx from intercepting the signal, and we have been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. Wayakwe has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geode. Good luck, and stay safe. Geode said he would sweep the surrounding area, so he shouldn't have ventured too far. Let's get going. I had a feeling something was going to happen. Pray, thank your Milale friend for me. I would still be a helpless mess if it not for her encouragement. I hope you find Geode soon. I know he's probably saving people with one hand and fighting off threats with the other, but I cannot help but worry. I can't help but worry. Please, Geode. Please be safe. You see no sign of Geode. Perhaps you should search further to the east. Let's search around the apartments first. You see no sign of Geode. Wayakwe's voice crackles forth from the communicator. Geode, answer me. There's no response. Perhaps you should continue your search further to the east. Actually, they did pretty good on this tension. Did pretty good on this tension. You see no sign of Geode. The neighboring residential radius would be the next logical place to look. Oh wait, okay.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geode, are you there? Answer me, please!
I'm here. Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive! Thank the gods! Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join it.
The hell?
That dust.
Dust? What are you talking about? What's happening?
They're not just collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells. Shit.
Oh! Of course.
Damn you! You can't be here! You need to run, now!
Oh, fuck you.
A trap! Take care of the others, eh?
Mm. Mm. Hmm.
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe? Geode!
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether. But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Oh, we all know who that is. You don't need to put the question marks.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Ether sufficient to generate 5,000 endless. How would you acquire it?
How would I?
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand. 7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years. Our bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now?
Oh, that's fucked up.
I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance. Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promise to halt my harvest?
You would only seek other victims, or I will halt your harvest by defeating you. You would only seek other victims.
It was foolish of me to even ask.
It was foolish of you to pursue this course.
I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
I'm not 100%. There's some new musics in there that I did not recognize. I mean, to be fair, this is the latest expansion, so I might not be super familiar. There's been some really, really good. This has been some pretty good tension build up here, if I'm being 100% sure. Sometimes it works, yes. Sometimes. Let's see. There's themes of have you become the baddies? Like in the second half of this expansion, there are themes of are you the baddies? Kind of like you're kind of doing the same thing that there's a certain level of like there's a sort of high-end moral ambiguity here, but it's kind of gone straight into a little bit more cartoon villainy, which is fine. I don't mind that. I can't. There are no words. This pile of dust, these ashes. And the soul cell he left behind, was that his twisted way of returning Geode to us? Damn you, Calyx. Damn you and your careless cruelty. He was our friend. Even so, some might say every death was justified if it meant 5,000 Endless could continue their immortal lives. And if a reflection's stolen ether allowed for many more Endless, why, that too would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who could think that? Not I. Certainly not I. We know only too well there is not noble in this sacrifice. We have to stop him. We have to find Calyx and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. And under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession, Samari. It falls to us. We will thwart his plans here in Alexandria before he can terrorize innocents in reflections elsewhere. No. Remember, it's not always the story that's told. It can be the method of its telling. There are a lot of... They did some good... They did do some good moments there. I will hold on to Geode's gun. If you could take the soul cell, please. My memories and yours. Though gripped by sadness, Sphene spurs herself to action. We should return to the back room. Shill and the others will need to know what happened. Yes, I'll ask Wayakwe to meet us there as well. Oh. That's why we went with Geode. For that last ditch, like, this guy's a person too.
Our dear Geode. The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Gololja. The blame lies with Calyx, and with him alone. It's all so senseless. Why force his plans upon us when we're already happy? Living our lives. What does he even think life is? I'll never forgive Calyx for doing this. Or myself for being powerless to stop him. Wait, where are you going? To clear my head. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure Nostalgia stays out of trouble.
Good old Kryl.
Thank you.
Kryl's always been the responsible one.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calyx is hiding. But not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
I'm told that the members tasked with keeping residents safe returned with the body of their comrade. They all risk so much. Graha. We made a swift patrol of the other levels and confirmed that Calyx had carried out a number of targeted attacks, all to harvest more ether, it seems. I got back control of the sentries, probably around the same time Calyx left. I'm sorry, I couldn't stop him. Ishtola, Erenville. I've spoken with Wuklamat, and they've cut their meeting short to deal with the aftermath of this latest violence. I assume you know better by now, but I hope you're not planning to try anything alone. We're all here with you. They brought back Geode's gun. Its rounds were spent and its barrel was scorched, so you can be sure he went down fighting. Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. Geode was an older brother to Nostalgia and me. Shell knew him longer though, and is surely taking it the hardest, and that's on top of what happened to Kahikwa. Kakiwa? Forgot how to pronounce that name. Kakiwa? Do you think you could check in on her? See how she's doing? She's like to put on a brave face, if it's for me or my sister. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. We need to press on for the hunt for Calyx, but I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this, I know. Is there anything I can do, or, as you said, you need time to work through it? You can't help yourself, can you? Still, I appreciate the concern. Kakiwa used to say the best thing to do with grief is to let it all out. So I think I'll take myself over to Earth and Sky and say my goodbyes to Geode. Why don't you come along? I could use someone to blubber to if you've shoulders to spare. Right then. Let's get out of Everkeep for a bit. Oh. Been a lot more like insta-teleports lately, which is fine. Oh, is it another escort quest? You're really leaning into that mechanic. It's a fair trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air wheelers. They've had their communications modules removed, so even Calyx shouldn't be able to seize control of them. Say the word and we'll set off. Ready? We'll be flying close to the pylons, so follow my lead. Sure. Oh, it's going to be one of these. I think. Yeah. These air wheelers are Janolt's babies. You won't find a smoother ride in all of Everkeep. For years now, I've been taking one out for a turn whenever I needed to lighten my mood. Sometimes Geode would come along too, and we'd end up racing. Does that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. We would often talk about how, one day, we might fly our wheelers outside the dome. Almost there. Be sure the ground is clear before you touch down. That's helped clear my head a touch. You know, Samari, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. As far as I remember, at least. The memories from my regulator days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Hopefully the way will be clear of pests today. Of course there are pests. Why wouldn't there be pests? Yeah, just our luck. Thanks. We can usually avoid such encounters, but sometimes they wander in and block the only path. Not that it slowed you down at all. I've never seen you fight up close before, and the surveillance feed clearly didn't do it justice. Hopefully that keeps the route clear for a while. Shall we?
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa. Will you raise a glass?
To Geode's memory. Oh.
What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
I suppose I could spare a moment. They tell us Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances. And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization. You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you? Tell us more about it. You're keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. That sort of thing.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I had recently lost someone close to me. And also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. It paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company. So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First-time customer, but tempers flared. And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
Damned if I know. We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything. By the end of it, we were both sprawled out in the street. Pair of drunken fools. Then this odd machine stopped to lecture us, scolding us for obstructing the foot traffic and not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state. The odd machine. That was Kafkiwa, I take it.
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch. Kafkiwa explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause. It was a lot to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kafkiwa herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. But Geode and I were intrigued by her ideas, and wanted to see this future of hers come to pass.
Geode often spoke of it. He told me that meeting Kafkiwa was what first taught him the value of remembering people.
Like he was sharing a holy revelation.
Oh, but back then you hadn't yet taken on Oblivion's name, had you?
Is that so? I just assumed.
It hadn't been Kafkiwa's intention to carry on Oblivion's legacy, nor adopt the cause your parents championed. Not initially, at least. She wasn't even aware such an organized resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access. And that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business.
The back room.
The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that the hideout had long been abandoned. Although the occupants were gone, the equipment they'd left behind contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Thus were my parents' and Kafkiwa's hopes bound together.
and carried onward by Shale and Geode.
We could never have made it this far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided. Losing comrades is a hard thing, but being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I can see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this, and why I'll stay the course. Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in Oblivion.
And then I'm reminded that this basically reads like a shonen anime. Which is fine. Those are fine. I appreciate you helping me through this. And not only the grief, you've helped me see that my comrades mean even more to me than I realized. Which only fuels my determination. I'll be spending every waking moment working to bring Calyx to account for his crimes. I'll do my part, then you do yours. Oblivion needs you. A darkness in the heart. Shale steals her heart for the work ahead. It's time I went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind, but it remains to be seen if it will aid in narrowing down the possibilities. I'll ask Kryle for help. I want to re-examine the data, starting with that of her parents. After all, they were the first to break away from preservation and establish an organized resistance with Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans? Be interrupted by communications, of course. Samari, is that you? Apologies for calling suddenly. I've been making the rounds in the outskirts, and I cannot help but feel as though something is amiss. Might I ask you to join me? Your perspective would be most appreciated. It could wait until you're finished attending to Shale, of course. It seems your plans have been decided for you. Go on. I have others to speak with before I return to the back room. As long as the memories remain, this wound in my heart will never fully heal, but it might be better that way. To feel something, even pain, is to remember that they lived, and to know that I am still alive. Ah, right. Won't be the same without Geode around. Forgot about this place. It's been... My memory is cheese, but now I do remember where this place is. Where is Sphene? Oh, she's over to the west. Oh, she's back in there. Oh, that's right, they adjusted the instances. They knew a lot of people would be in here. This is also different music. I do not remember this being the music here. No, this is definitely not the music. Samari, thank you for coming. As I mentioned, I would benefit from your worldly experience. Perhaps it is my imagination, but the townspeople appear to be acting oddly. That is, even considering the current state of affairs. As I am yet unfamiliar with the outskirts, I thought you might be better equipped to judge if their behavior is unusual or not. Would you speak with them and see what you think? Though I hope to be proven wrong, I fear something is not right here. Oh, you're not following me. It's nothing so obvious as loud wailing or acts of violence, but, well, it would be best if you saw for yourself. Oh, we're going to see the usher again, aren't we? Malachite. Neo-regulator equipped resident. You're not wearing a regulator? Don't you know the end is coming? Well, it's your life to lose. Me? I've got myself one of those Neo-regulators and registered it a while ago. As soon as I did, a display appeared showing the number of registered users. Right now it's sitting at 4,168. The upper limit was 5,000, wasn't it? Seems the total shot up right after those machine malfunctions. It's only a matter of time before everyone's registered. I pity those who weren't chosen, but I'm going to be an endless. I'm going to evolve and live happily ever after. Oh, please tell me you brought more Neo-regulators. Officially, they've all been handed out already, but I've heard rumors that there were a few left over. Surely the government still has some, or perhaps Queen Sphene. I may not look it, but I was a hunter once. Back then, I hardly gave death a second thought. But now that I know the truth, it's all I can think about. There has to be a way to hold on. There has to. I can't go on like this. Oh, I didn't actually speak to the second person, or the first person again. I wonder if they have say anything. I hope you come to your senses and get your hands on a Neo-regulator, friend. Greetings. I remember when you visited with Queen Sphene. Come to check on our well-being, have you? Well, I can say that things are rather stressful out here as well. Without knowing if or when our machinery might turn murderous, the specter of death is ever present. People are terrified, and the clamor for Neo-regulators has reached a fever pitch. I personally was fortunate to have claimed a new device early on, and have long since completed the registration. Death has no hold over me now. Now I must begin my prayers. The darkness draws closer, grows deeper, and must cast it out. What? I must pray. Was he an usher too? No, I don't. You know what? I don't know. So, what do you think? Was I right to worry? Tensions are running high. Their fear is palpable. Yes, that is exactly it. The people are overwhelmed by uncertainty and fear, and with each new registration, that fear inside them grows more insistent. How long until it drives them into full-blown panic? Oh, this is what happens when you have 2 cell phones. Samari, can you come to resolution? We have a problem. I'm already here with Lama Chi and Alphino. Sounds like she wants us there in a hurry. We should go. Oh, fucker turned it back on.
What's happened? Sorry to drag you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Death is your constant companion. Though you toil with diligence, death may come ere your reward is bestowed. Though your grand works be poised for completion, death may come ere you wake the following morn. Though you enjoy a life of peace and good fortune, death needs but one instant to claim you. Your bodies are weak. Your heart, your brain, every fragile organ rolls the dice from moment to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function or fail. Be you stoic or generous or righteous, no virtues tip the scales in that fatal reckoning. The choice is made without reason. The end is cloaked in terror. That is what it means to die.
The announcement began after we finished our meeting with Gossen. As for its source, well...
Alex.
There is no shame in being afraid. It is that very fear which will drive you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity. Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance, will we banish the ever-present darkness of mortality.
Change isn't easy. No one ever wants to take the first step. But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
Thou, Wuklemat! You couldn't have come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tuli-Yalal.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the next century will turn on us? Even if we wanted to become endless, there are no more neo-regulators to be had. Fleeing is our only option.
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement? For the living, death is a foregone conclusion. No matter where we go, or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Easy for you to say when you have that regulator.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tulisiola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people. But what can I do? I am not their queen.
My apologies. The sign is not responding to any of our attempts to change the display or switch it off. I'm sorry, I couldn't be there in time. Cryo told me everything that happened while we were away. First those deadly malfunctions, and now a citywide announcement. He has spent considerable effort recruiting his 5,000 Endless, perhaps more than necessary even. We had the hopefuls who descended on Lavishie dispersed for now. We could see tempers in the crowd were starting to fray. This latest wave of attacks may not have been as widespread, but people are reaching the breaking point. We have to stop Calyx, and soon. Calyx. Hard A or small or short A. Calyx has access to the core system, which means that if he chose to do so, he could deploy the soldiers beyond the barrier. Even if our people learn to live with death and decide to leave the dome behind, they will not be beyond his reach. Yet, if it serves to allay their fears even little, I beg you, Wuklammat, please let them shelter in Tuliolal. We will welcome any and all who want to come. We've already begun evacuations, and we'll be able to pick up the pace once the Lance Guard arrives. In which case, we had best spread out and keep an eye on the crowds. The mood is tense, and we must prepare for possible violence. If you happen to determine where Calyx is hiding, though, we'll be ready to move at a moment's notice. Surely we'll find a clue of some kind soon. He can't elude us forever. Violence and fear. This is not the future she envisioned for her nation. You give so much of yourselves to aid those in need. I must endeavor to find my own small way to help. Preservation and their purpose. Wuklammat assesses her surroundings with grim determination. Tuliolal will gladly welcome every Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the late Queen was so desperate to preserve? What of that bright haven of peace and laughter? Wuklammat. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own, yet alone we lacked the strength to protect them. There is so much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe, and that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear, so together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been friends. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I would be yours as well, Sphene. Whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you do the same for me. That's how we'll protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. Don't forget about me! How could we? We'd not be where we are now without you. Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. Should probably be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shale needs a hand? There you all are. Golulja. Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. LSA and the others said you were here. Good news, Amari. We finally found a chink in Calix's armor. We discovered laboratories on Everkeep's 10th level that once housed a preservation initiative. Containment Complex 1029, it's called, and it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calix is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go and check it out together? Thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And up. We need to take the lift to get to the complex. I've cleared this expedition with the relevant authorities, and we have one of our people waiting to operate said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. Oh, is this going to be the first duty? Preservation laboratories. I shudder to think at what they were researching, but this is no time to be squeamish. An institute on preservation scale would have had many such facilities in the city, yet I cannot help but wonder if this one is where my parents worked. I'll share the method we used to find the containment complex once we're inside. It wasn't actually all that different to the story of how we stumbled across the back room. It sounds like Golulja played a big part in this breakthrough. I'll be sure to treat him to a fine feast once this is all over. There's the Wuklamat I actually wanted to exist with. Shale made me her assistant. She was teaching me the basics of data management. Ready to head on up? Next stop, the 10th level. Oh, it's not a duty. Okay. It was set up to look like one. Oh, it's a cutscene.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit. You got the lights working!
Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kryl and Golulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City. As it was Preservation that constructed the portal,
We reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in FFXIV, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
Your treasure, Shale. Or, sounds like you need one of General's energy tonics.
Those concoctions would probably do me more harm than good, but I appreciate the sentiment. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
I get to break
We need
stuff.
to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx.
Or not.
We're more than happy to help, of course. But I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
So the second good thing that the Warrior of Light is good at, finding things. You all know our main objective. We're here to pick up Calyx's trail. And I've learned of a certain device that should help us do just that. I'll explain how as we proceed. But according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now, as for where that might be, yes, this map matches my data. This room we're in is the Researchers' Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is to the northeast of here. This room where we're in, so we should cut across the circular chamber in the middle, yes? Yes, we should, but unfortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We'll need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't you know, work some electrope magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack it. And in case I can't, you might want to look around to see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one. Very well. Let's get to searching, shall we? I'll expect we'll have the most luck looking for the researchers kept their personal belongings. You begin searching Containment Complex 1029. Close cooperation will be necessary to overcome the obstacles barring your path forward. Helpful hints will appear in a different color. Pay close attention to the information provided by your comrades should you find yourself unable to proceed. Oh, this is a little bit... I don't remember this. Okay, this is a little new. Doing riddles. No luck so far. This bin had nothing in it at all. The terminal screen displays what appears to be the index page of an employee manual. Personnel protocols. For security reasons, Containment Complex 1029 has been registered as a materials distribution center. Keep this in mind and conduct yourself accordingly, both inside and outside of the facility. Each employee must perform their tasks within their designated workrooms, the Researchers' Commons, the Proto Lab, or the Deutero Lab. Entrance to another workroom without official clearance is strictly prohibited. Carry your security card at all times. Your clearance level dictates the areas to which you have access. Equip your regulator at all times. Due to the highly confidential nature of the research materials and other data managed within this complex, preservation retains the ownership of, and the rights to modify, the memories of all registered personnel. Research objectives. Access denied. Please log in with your personnel account to view. Leadership personnel. Complex Director, Demetrius. Protolab Chief, Eosfor. Deuterolab Chief, Redacted. How much you want to bet that's Calyx? The arcane circuits in use here are decades old. I'll keep at it, but a security card might be the only way we're getting past this lock anytime soon. A few indecipherable notes remain pinned to this notice board, but nothing that resembles a security card. A few documents sit in an untidy stack atop the desk. You find no security cards hidden among them. Was this really a preservation laboratory? I thought there'd be something more, I don't know, special about it. These shelves are almost entirely bare, but I'll examine the files to be certain. Perhaps the researchers keep their personal belongings at the stations. You scan the bin's interior, hoping to find some card-shaped rubbish, but it appears to be empty. Nothing in there, then? I'm not even sure where people keep their personal belongings in this day and age. Probably in the desk drawer. This small shelving unit holds some office supplies and little else of note. This appears to be the only desk with the drawers already open. You can tell at a glance that the desk's former owner has left some things behind. Rifle through the half-open desk drawers. You discover a card-shaped object. The electrope surface is marked with a bold Level 1. Oh, could that be what we were looking for? Try it on the door and see if it opens. A card-shaped object fashioned from electrope. Okay, still don't have access there. A scanning device. The card-shaped object you hold looks to be of a similar size to the scanner panel. You hold the card-shaped object up to the scanner. It's open! You did it! And a good thing too. I was getting nowhere with that outdated circuit. I am curious though, why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by a Demector Demetrius, or so that terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. Then let's continue onwards. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. Yep. This has Final Fantasy VII written all over it. Even at my best, I'm not good at reading Eorzean script, and I don't think this is Eorzean script. It would be interesting to be able to read it, though. I mean, it's just a one-for-one, like, character replacement. It must be the door to the director's office. Go ahead, go on, try the card. Looks like every room can be accessed from this hub. Not a single soul here besides us. Going by the room labels on that map, we haven't entered any of the actual labs yet. Another locked door. We could try the same card again, but... This is the director's office. Yeah, the facilities and... Okay. The commons. And the proto-lab, I guess. This one's open. We're gonna have to go in here. So I'm just gonna go try the door because we're supposed to. You hold the level 1 security card up, but the scanner beeps in disapproval. No good? Maybe we need a different card. Yes, the scanner is demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay chafes me, we'll just have to comb through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the card we need. Let's start our search in the proto-lab. That door is already open, at least. We will find a way through together, Shale. I'm sure of it. These notes seem to be about the research they did in here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148. Submitting interference candidate 201930 to be considered for efficiency procedure review. Experiment 158. Maximum value of 11509 recorded. Comparative study to be included in the report. Alright then. Oh, and one more. Experiment 163. New proposal produced as a result of 9834. Decreased value verified. Decreased value verified. Well, I have no idea what any of that means. Maybe it will make sense later on. Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calyx are close, and I'm itching to get my hands on them. I dug through this data tablet and found a journal. I'll read it to you. The results of experiment 158 showed a marked improvement in ether extraction rates. At last we have achieved the target value set by Master Calyx. Though I will become endless as per our ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly effects. Preserve the number. Oh dear. Okay, well, experiment 158. Okay. Okay, well, we have that. This machine feeds into a soul cell. I am reminded of my imprisonment by the Empire. Surely this device wasn't made to hold people. Yeah, let's see, there's a soul... It's a soul cell there in the middle. It appears to be a researcher's personal data tablet. Skim through the entries. Today I began my employment at Preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this work would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were correct. Master Calyx's philosophy is the refined ideal of notions that I've only ever vaguely entertained, that mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I had a meeting with Director Demetrius today. I've heard other praise his genius intellect, yet he seems to be a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calyx's blinding brilliance. This morning I was permitted to access the top floor and observe the workings of living memory. As predicted, the shortage of ether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical levels, yet Queen Sphene insists on continuing her ineffectual flailing. Our Milala colleagues, including the Proto-Lab chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the director? From tomorrow, I shall have been assigned to assist with this research project in the Dirhur Lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. The way this room is set up. The canister inserted into that large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? But we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Golul Jah mentioned a locker over in the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look. The locker door is shut tight, but the number pad suggests that inputting a correct combination will open it. Have you gleaned some information? Sorry. Have you gleaned some numerical data during your investigation? Attempt to enter the combination? Yes, why not? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, here we go. We'll do this. (11509). Select the number keys on the pad to input in a combination. Enter up to 5 digits and then press the confirm key. Yeah, no, these are not Eorzean script. Or are they? Oh, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. 6. 11509. The locker pops open. Inside you discover a level 2 security card. Samari, you got the locker open. And you found another security card. Oh, but does that say level 2? We needed a level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Samari. These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. Leaving notes, losing their cards. I guess I imagined they'd be more, what's the word, bloodless? Mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you recall. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calyx and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not, or would not, eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more in the other tablet there. Right, let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have the Deutero Lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. So it's back to the hub and the locked door across the way, which will hopefully yield for our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use for it. Alright, I'm not the only one carrying on all the important things. Yeah, I already read that one. It's exposition, exposition, exposition. There were others besides my parents who left preservation. Where might they be now? It seems not everyone who joined preservation became endless right away. It must have been research that required physical bodies. The scanner awaits. Hold the security card up to the panel and it should unlock the door. Calyx hasn't bothered to show his face yet, I see. Maybe he hasn't noticed us, or maybe he's just watching and waiting. What else do they have in this place? If I read that map right, it must be a lot smaller than the Ueyawata facility. A scanning device. It waits silently for a security card with the appropriate level of clearance. A card-shaped key for opening restricted doors. This one is marked with a level 2 security clearance. Yes, it opened. So, where shall we go first? The Deutero Lab or facilities? Let's start with the lab. I'm going to the facilities. Oh look, it's the... Oh boy, this is going to be a mini game. Yeah, did I not say this had Final Fantasy VII written all over it? Okay, well, I mean, it's fine. What is it, Golulja? Shouldn't the security card open this door as easily as the last one? How strange. The door is not lit up like the others. What does the sign say? Shale, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. It's possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above this card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. The facilities rooms is down at the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Deutero Lab, shall we? Deutero Lab. Oh good, the terminal is lit up. That means we have power in this room. The Deutero Lab must have required greater amounts of energy to operate. What kind of experiments were they conducting in there? Those are some big flashy floor tiles. I wonder what they're for. For PlayStation! That's what they are. PlayStation. So this room was for managing the power supply and utilities. I hope they've kept the security cards in here as well. Engaging power supply. No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall directly to the Deutero Lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. Oh, lovely. Okay. Oh, they're rotations. Okay. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? I believe you have the right of it. Using control panels set into each of the tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to follow. What I wouldn't give for an next instruction manual. Indeed, if you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I also ask someone to operate the generator? No one else has died. We're busy doing minigames, and earlier I mentioned that this whole section has Final Fantasy VII written all over it, so now we're doing a minigame. Another one. I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Samari? The rest of us can help by supplying Samari with whatever information might be found of the circuitry configuration. Alright, let's see what else everyone says. I've locked in the power supply route and adjusted the current for optimal flow. Everything should be ready for when you reconfigure the circuit. I was able to glimpse part of a warning sign behind the containers. From what I could make out, said, "Caution, circuit will not function with duplicate patterns." I suppose that means only one of each circuitry pattern can be set at the same time. The generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit is fixed, we should have a power supply ready to go. Samari, take a look at this diagram. There's a note in the bottom left about backup power. Configure the 4 circuit control panels to provide an uninterrupted path. These symbols must represent the room we're in. That square in the top left is Shale's terminal. And then the bottom right should be the generator that Golul Jah is working on. Start to make out the rest, assuming these are our 4-tile patterns. The bottom right is a square, and the top right is half a circle? That's something to get you started, at least. Oh, are we just... Yes. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a hard puzzle, but it's just like... Hooray! Minigames, which I guess it's fine. It's fine. These appear to be the datalogs from a former age. My scholarly interest is piqued by a few of the labels, but none are relevant to the task at hand. I've also had no luck locating more security cards. We shall have to rely upon our backup power strategy, I'm afraid. You must arrange the 4-tile patterns in the correct positions, access the control panels, and configure the secretary. Oh, I see. Okay. What's missing? Triangle? Oh no, this will have to be... Hooray! You have reconnected the circuits. Inform your comrades of the successful configuration. It worked! Yes, I love my carbuncle. We did it, Samari. The Deutero lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shale, could we access a certain datalog before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the early days is the title. Of course, it'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. Are you going to be... Please let us not be... Alright, let's see. It looks to be a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the Storm Surge, with Calix's designs for new defensive solutions funded in a large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the Storm Surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is from before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once, before the Storm Surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness, yet he still published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to the somber youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calix was changing into. Did he change, I wonder? Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs, that mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from this fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Dodoro lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once-over just to be sure. I was not expecting this much dialogue and exposition. Not that I mind, just I was expecting to fight something already. Had his own body not been fated to fail him so young, would Calyx have pursued his endless project with such fervor? Everything we read in this place sings Calyx's praises. The people who worked here must have truly idolized him. That Alexandria survived the war was in no small part thanks to the defensive measures developed by Preservation. In that regard, I shall always be grateful. Yes, the door has power now. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer with that a shorted wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Calculated evolution. Right, I'll get this door open. Phew, smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Gods above, isn't that... Oh dear. Oh, there's that's that one in the middle. The one in that device doesn't have that central, like, stone in the middle. The key to interdimensional fusion. That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. And they've used it to make like another key. But isn't it missing the shard inside the one, like the one Samari has? Ah, we may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Milala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, Preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So what might that tell us? The crystal itself is the key. Or this is just a device made to control it. Yes, then the crystal itself is the key. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electrope, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion, not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calyx can track the key because its vessel was made by Preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I will have to enlist Ishtola's assistance for a thorough investigation. I too am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there is a security card here that grants us access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards they left behind. Remember, anything less than a level 3 is no good to us. That was a twist that I was not expecting. I mean, it wasn't a big twist, but... more of a revelation. I really like the Dawn Trail music. I really, really do. And the things they do with the theme, I'm enjoying. The sturdy-looking shelving unit holds a storage crate and sealed barrels. No sign of any security cards. I keep holding out hope that I'll find some evidence of my parents here, despite knowing there is none. Maybe someone left a card on a shelf somewhere. I'll search through these drawers. One of us is bound to find something, I'm sure of it. Oh look, they're making those devices in here. They're 3D printing them! Why were they making so many vessels? Did the other ones not work properly? If those cameras are anything to go by, this lab was under constant surveillance. I'll scan the recordings and try to spot where people left their security cards. Maybe we'll get lucky. You find a security card in the cabinet drawer. Oh, did you just find a security card? Well, that's a stroke of luck. Let's have Shale examine it to be sure. Well, well, if it isn't exactly what we needed. Nice work, Samari. I actually really like how there's a while there where they would lean on the fourth wall a little bit, saying like, wow, you are just really good at finding really, really random stuff and really, really hard to find places. Yeah, it's like, why? I'm like, it's baffling how good you are at this. And of course, it's like, I like the actual lean on the fourth wall. Oh, a level 3. That should get us into the director's office. So what was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right. I haven't properly examined it myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered this ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep's security cameras. Considering the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and has been using it to monitor our activities. To monitor what you, as the keyholder, are planning. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why we need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's rerouting all the surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be entirely on the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't. Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring Samari's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than him? I've slain gods. Oh, speaking of cameras, there was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was also crudely deleted. I was able to restore the data, though, if you'd like to see it. I'll start the show, then. Cutscene time.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me. I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calix's vision.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I are too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Oh, shit.
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
She only wanted to leave and he executed her. I checked the images against the personnel data, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with Master Calix. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given that the recording was erased, I can only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from the other researchers. I am not surprised, given how my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through a portal, even as Preservation's agents closed in on them. I dared not ask what became of them after that, but if it turns out that they were captured by their pursuers... Sure they managed to escape, or they did not regret their actions. Right, the Echo. Knowing you saw them as they were, your words give me great comfort. Oh, the Echo! We finally brought back the Echo. We haven't had the Echo in... Jeez, we haven't used the Echo in a long time. Not that we have control over it, but... Dang, okay. Oh, Kryl. Worry not, Sphene. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and Preservation. But what we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right. Let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the Director's office. Yes, someone died. Yeah, it's been a little while since a death, so. Was Calix the one who gave orders to execute defectors? The more we learn about him, the less I understand. I don't expect to find any information on my parents in the next room either, and that's something I can be proud of. My early investigations put the data relay just past this door. Let's get it open, shall we? If that man in the recording was Director Demetrius, then this must be his office. Hearing Kryl talk about her parents reminded me of how much I miss Namika. I guess I'll never really get over it. A scanning device. It waits silently for a security card with the appropriate level of clearance. Level 3 security card. Card-shaped key for opening restricted doors. This one was marked with a level 3 security clearance. You hold the level 3 security card up to the scanner. There we go. Let's head inside. Now to find that data relay. And don't be shy, everyone. Speak up if anything odd catches your eye. Samari, come with me. I might have need of that security card. Oh, the pacing is much improved. Let's see what we do. Huh, this Director Demetrius was very particular about how he decorated his office. We've got incense and vases and some kind of gem display? Do we? Oh, there's one missing. Sapphire, ruby, and I bet you that's a sphene. Or a garnet, one of the two. The missing one is... Yeah, there's a missing one. Something odd. Something odd. Oh, my apologies. I was thinking about the key. This is a report on reducing people to ether, and how much energy can be harnessed per individual. Oh dear. Damn, this terminal isn't connected to any outside network, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the map suggested. Oops. I'm positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Sorry, Samari. Could I ask you and the others to search the office for any clues to this infuriating puzzle? And that is why I have... the log up. You find a crumpled note wedged between the file binders. Secure room lift access. Requires passports to be input simultaneously at terminals in the Proto-Lab, the Deutero Lab, and the Director's office. Perhaps this discovery would be of interest to Shale. The collection of soul cells may have once belonged to the Director. They appear to be empty. A beverage station. Having lain dormant for years, the now active coffee maker has already entered a self-cleaning cycle. It appears to have no other purpose beyond brewing coffee, though it remains to be seen when it will be able to do so once more. These drawers have only big heavy books in them. I would have filled them with snacks. Oh, but maybe the books are hiding something. I'll check. Still a kid. Does this display do anything else? Something is strange about this wall. Could have sworn it flickered for a moment there. Seems solid enough now. Shale says this room is too small. How could that be? Amongst other personal effects, you find what is presumably the director's data tablet. A closed locker stands next to the table. Alas. Examine the data tablet, search the locker. But this is actually technically Alexandria is from a different shard entirely, so it could be different, maybe. Examine the data tablet. You pick up the data tablet and begin skimming through the contents. Daily reports. Nothing of note. The mystery of the key's activation condition remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continue attempts to stabilize the core's energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory faculties of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conversion. Remaining 9 designated for ether reclamation processing. Oof. Nothing of note. Rejected resignations of 2 Milala researchers. Major incident. Details in full report. Those 2 inept Milala broke with preservation and absconded with the key. Though the fugitives have since been caught and eliminated, we were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Kellex as physical instruments to conduct his experiments. Deprived of the object of our research, our existence serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment in me. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Memory data will be archived. Only endless conversions will be subject to Master Callix's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, then we are not deserving of eternal life. Well, that's why they were praying, I guess. Shutdown protocols. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex in pristine condition. Whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise, it must be ready to support future operations in whatever capacity Master Callix requires. To that end, facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for secure rune access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. Open the locker. The door to the locker swings open easily. Oh. Well, that's creepy as fuck. Contains nothing of note. You quietly shut the locker door. How many different pictures did he have in there? Weirdo. Have you found something? Crumpled note. Thank you. A misplaced note, was it? With instructions for accessing a secure room, no less. Seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There was no such room marked on the map, was there? No. A precautionary measure, no doubt. And if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed too. Concealed? By electrope, you mean? Ah, could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kafkiwa said, Shale? Never trust an electrope surface. Electrope is it always what it appears to be. You can pass right through electrope. Not always what it appears to be, I guess. Oh, of course. Electrope is how you alter the look of all of Solution 9's floors and walls, isn't it? In which case, it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Another door. I've managed to deactivate the projection, but the lock is another story. Think that notes lay about the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminals for input while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. No, he can't walk through things. He was more fascinated about all the things that he saw in living memory made out of electrope. I'll take the Proto Lab. Then I'll take the Deutero Lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Sphene. Your knowledge of Alexandria and its people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, that may be something I can help with. I can help too. I lived my whole life in Alexandria, after all. I will take the Deutero Lab duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. Please don't let this be an actual physical test. Samari, you shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once we've determined what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I'll stand by to guide Wuklamat and Kryl through the process. You know, there was that display plate over there, the one with the gems. I thought since it was made of electrope it might have some other purpose. But I couldn't find any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. Or it could be garnet. Could be ruby or garnet, I guess. Keep calm and everything will be fine. Both of you are quick studies. Kept searching the drawers with the books and found a sizable cube puzzle made of electrope. It's probably just a toy, but maybe... What will you have Galuja do? Solve the puzzle or nothing for now? I guess solve the puzzle? I mean... Rubik's Cube? You got it. Let's see. If I move this bit, then connect the circuit to that one. There! Huh, there was something inside. Oh, it's a pretty green stone. I think it might be Alexandrite. They say these gems were so treasured in the past that they named the kingdom after them. Here, you should hold on to this one just in case. Alexandrite, so be it. Should take a closer look at these reports. One of them might have hints to the passwords. Let me go check on the other two over here. Understood, Shale. But first I need to find a stool or mayhap a sturdy box. Poor Kryl. Kryl is the long-suffering. Like, she is... And as like I've mentioned that... that Tataru is the emotional support potato. She is like the physical support potato. She is like... She is a long-suffering support character. She is always... She's been there since like... since the very beginning, literally. Maybe not physical, but she's been interacting with you guys since the very beginning. She's been a player here. So she arguably is the longest running secondary character aside from the twins themselves. And, well, the rest of the Scions. So I just press this, and the next one is that one, right? Hey, this isn't so hard. But yeah, you have all the Scions, and then like literally, like you talk with her, like Minfilia talks with her over Link Shell, like since near the beginning of the show, the game, and then you finally get to meet her in Heavensward, which is the second expansion, or the first expansion, however you want to see it, and she's been a major background character. She's been like relegated to like a tertiary character the entire time, and this is the first time she's been promoted to a secondary character, and the whole trek through Dawn Trail has been so disappointing because they just kind of like shoved her off screen for the majority of it, and it's nice to see her get some attention. Well, let's look back over here. Look at Director Demetrius' personal data tablet and locker space. Have a take another look? Nah, it's fine. Two jewels are embedded in this electrode plate. You identify the blue gem as a sapphire and the red gem as a garnet. There also appears to be an empty slot for another jewel to fill. Insert the alexandrite. The gemstone fits snugly into place. Almost immediately afterwards, the glowing lines of a diagram appear on the display, accompanied by a short phrase. A decorative pattern? An arcane circuit? A floor plan of this complex? A decorative pattern? No, but you consider the display before you. On second thought, perhaps the shapes were chosen for reasons aside from the aesthetic. Floor plan of the complex. As you continue studying the display, you realize that these shapes correspond to the rooms of the complex in which you now stand. This may be related to the passwords you are looking for. Slot contains a sapphire. Its place in the floor plan corresponds to the protolab. Contains a garnet. This place in the floor plan corresponds to the tutorolab. And the slot contains an alexandrite. Its place in the floor plan corresponds to the director's office. Glowing words appear to be handwritten. Yes, I knew that jewel would come in handy. Let me see. Heed the stones. This must be about the special meanings Alexandrians have for gems. It's an old belief, I think, where each gem means something different. I bet if you ask Sphene, she could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. Is that it? That was actually... I mean, I saw that one coming away, but it's nice to know that the passwords aren't just gemstones. Yes, if you have questions, you need only ask. Ask about the symbolism of alexandrite. Well, I was taught that alexandrite represents the concepts of protection. It is incidentally also the origin of Alexandria's name. Oh, are you thinking that this has something to do with the passwords? A sapphire and garnet as well, you say? Yes, they all have meanings. Alexandrite, as I said, is protection. Sapphire represents honesty, and garnet symbolizes devotion. We should try these words at the terminals and see if they're accepted. I certainly hope we're right. We have gathered enough information to attempt entering the passwords. We're all set to go here. Wuk-Lamat and Kryl are just waiting on their passwords. Start with Wuk-Lamat in the protolab. What should she enter? Honesty. The password for Kryl in the tutorolab should be devotion. And lastly, what will we input for the director's office? Protection. Right. We have all three passwords ready. Now to enter them into the system at the same time, yes. Calyx is watching us. He's just waiting for us to do the thing so he can move in. We're doing all his work for him because he can't do it physically. Oh, I'm so glad that worked. That secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture in as soon as Wuk-Lamat and Kryl rejoin us. Wow, this is taking a lot longer than I expected. You did it thanks to you, and a little bit thanks to me, I hope. Great work, Samari. We'll leave it to you to divine passwords from an ornamental display. Speaking of gemstone symbology, for Alexandrians, Sphene holds the meaning of eternal light. When my parents named me, it was their wish that I become an unwavering beacon of hope for our people. To think on it now, I have ever shared that destiny with my other self. Well, that went well. Excellent clue finding, Samari. Alright, everyone. Time to board the lift and see what awaits us.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is. But whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in living memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body? The Endless are memories, and if memories are data, then...
Inside Electrode somewhere? Or in a world formed of data? Yeah, virtual reality, I guess. I'm not sure which one to answer. And no, Boof is not good with computers. Like, not even remotely. Even if he was from a place where they were from. I would have to be in a world formed of data, and then there's no physical form.
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
That's true.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso terminal?
But
that's
how?
Right.
I thought we shut down all the terminals in living memory.
You did. And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Sphne's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect a sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Let us say that the Meso terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited living memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus. He's keeping track of the keyholder's movements.
Time's up. And what a waste of time it's been.
Called it.
Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary. Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
Damn good question.
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key. I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me? Sorry for losing my temper. But there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx. Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
I'm with you. Let's plan our next move. He's wrong if he thinks he's taken our measure. Well, I'm with you.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
Whew. Well, that was an adventure. It may have not been the method Shale was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed, while we remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, that is an investigation for another day. Let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. I passed on the short version of events to our comrades so that we can all prepare for the challenge ahead. It was my other self who entrusted you with the key. Though she could not change who she was, the consequences of her final choice linger, empowering us to shape our own future. Shale has been out of sorts ever since we got back. I don't think she liked what Calyx said, but don't worry, I'll do my best to cheer her up. It's time to put an end to this. Calyx won't stop until we stop him. The situation isn't the best out there, but at least you've come back to us safe and sound. Don't you be letting up now, you hear? Let your passion carry you to the bitter end. Damn that bastard Calyx. He waited until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. And that infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see whose time is up, you smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with you all, providing whatever support I can. The calculated evolution. It's a shame that punching an Endless does no damage. I'd love to rearrange that serene face of his. One of the things that I did notice, which makes me wonder, is like, they're endless, right? So they're constructed from memories. Does that mean that Calyx has either chosen to keep his medical device on his neck, or is that just something he can't get around because it's constructed from his memories and he cannot change his perception of himself, or something like that? Or maybe both. I mean, it's probably mucho meaning. So I wonder if, yeah, it's definitely, that's literary analysis territory. One of our own. Sphene is resolved to take part in the coming battle. Samari, we've briefed Erenville on everything that has happened and sent word to the others. But now we've now but to consider what our next actions will be. Calyx has offered you the opportunity to confront him directly. And though it feels much like striking face first into an ambush, we have little choice. If we are to destroy the memories he supposedly has stored in the upper reaches of the Meso-Terminal, then that is where we must go. Is this another song? I really should play this expansion again, actually. Actually, what I should do is do a full playthrough. There's a lot that I've forgotten. Well, While I'm still upset at being deprived of my moment, I nevertheless did my due diligence. I can confirm that the relay we found was indeed transmitting surveillance data to a device somewhere in living memory. When you go to fight Calyx, pray let me fight alongside you. Let me fight for the memory of Otis and Zelenia, and for the other Sphene I may have become, but most importantly for my beloved kingdom and a joyful tomorrow. It has always been your fight as much as ours, if not more. Of course, but no reckless heroics. If things take a grim turn, I'll keep you safe. That's the last one. I shall hold you to that, but I will also protect you in turn, because that is what comrades do. I'll be coming with you as well. You know my reasons. Erenville's not happy about that. It hardly needs saying, but your fellow Scions also have every intention of accompanying you into battle. So adamant were Alice and the others on this point that they have already left for living memory. I am more than ready to do the same. No, can't be helped. I'll keep patrolling the streets for signs of trouble, especially from anyone wearing Neo-regulators. Should you need anything from me, I'll be on standby here in the back room. I really want to go with you too, but I know I can't. I know that sometimes you have to be patient and trust in your friends. Oh, Somari. Krile and I think that we should talk to Gosan before we leave for a living memory. Under Calyx's direction, preservation has helped shape Alexandria's society for centuries. Taking him down will have serious consequences, and we need to warn the officials in charge about what we intend. Justifications aside, we shall be acting against the wishes of all who desire to become endless. Exactly. We don't know if Gosan will approve or oppose our chosen course, but either way, leaving without a word is the wrong thing to do. Come, shall we be on our way? Resolution first, yes? Be safe, everyone. We'll see you when it's over. I'll do whatever I can to help Shale and Erenville. It may not be much, but small things add up when you do enough of them. As I said, I'll be ready and waiting if and when you have need of me. Just make sure you come back in one piece. Even people from my village have taken to wearing Neo-regulators. I can only hope it doesn't end badly. And the interior music here has remained the same. Alright. So that area that's being broadcasted on that TV is an area that we literally turned off. Like, it's not the fact that it's on actually really did kind of piss me off because it was an event turning that off. Government officials must be feeling demands from all quarters. I do not envy Gosan his position. The air is thick with the sense of unease, not least around Gosan himself. I see Gosan's wearing a Neo-regulator. He'll have some thoughts to share on the subject, I'll wager.
I see. A difficult situation. In the absence of an official sovereign, I agree that it is not Preservation's place to dictate the future of our nation. However, I also cannot simply take a side and declare my support for your efforts to defeat Calyx.
Is that because of the new regulator you wear?
I've yet to register it. I find myself caught between the fear of dying and the desire to carry out the duties of governance. My greatest concern is how we shall stem this ever-increasing terror of mortality when becoming endless is no longer an option. And that's to say nothing of the recent slaughter committed by our own soldiers. The fact that such violence was perpetrated for the very purpose of creating endless will, paradoxically, make it more difficult to endorse your chosen course. It may not seem logical, but for those who lost friends and family in the attacks, halting the creation process altogether would render the deaths of their loved ones utterly meaningless. Is it not cruel to rob them of what little solace they could claim, when we have only just learned what it is to mourn?
That's rough.
Tell me, how are we meant to overcome such tragedies?
We stop begging others to teach us, for a start.
Who's that? Oh, sure. Huh. Citizenry.
For the longest time, we've been protected by Queen Sphene and the systems put in place by our forebears. The hardships and responsibilities of life were distant things, and we felt entitled to our comforts, even as we barely noticed those who risked everything to keep us sheltered. But no more. From now on, we need to learn on our own. How to live with the promise of death. How to endure the pain of loss. We may never learn to love such things, but we may learn to survive them. The people beyond the barrier, even the Alexandrians of old, they've all had to live with these fears. There's no reason we can't do it too.
What are you all doing here?
Malachite called us in, and the Oblivion members briefed us on the current crisis. You don't stand idly by while your house burns down. We came together and thought about how we could help.
Long story short, we've decided to join the fight alongside Oblivion. I say fight, but we're well aware of how little use we'd be in actual combat.
A battle of ideas, on the other hand. Now that we might be qualified to do something about. We'll talk to our neighbors and do our best to quell their fears. Convince them to make the most of this life and enjoy all it has to offer. Perhaps that will help to ease your burden.
It certainly will. Even if a few are assuaged by your words, it will make things easier.
Those who have already registered will be difficult to sway, but there are still many who waver. Those are the ones we'll concentrate on.
Gossen, if you truly care for the people of Alexandria,
then now's the time to start thinking of ways to prevent more deaths.
Were I to become endless at the expense of my countrymen's lives, I would regret it for the rest of my existence. Forgive my weakness. When the people have lost their way, it falls to the government to support and guide them. Alexandria can rise above this sorrow and find its way forward once more. Is that not so, Your Majesty?
I kind of felt that one coming.
Indeed it is.
No, that wasn't... what I meant to say was...
Calm down, Sphene.
Lamity, you used her name.
The perfect resemblance to our beloved Queen Sphene has not escaped our notice. Yet we also understand that you are not her. Having to live in secret, unable to share who you really are, that must have been hard on you. When you come back, please tell us all about yourself. I imagine yours is a rather outlandish story, but we're eager to hear it all the same. You're one of us, an Alexandrian, and we don't abandon our own.
I promise to return. And when I do, I look forward to speaking with you all.
Notice the increase in that design where they have crossed bangs in front of their forehead. I've seen it like 2 or 3 times in several different instances. So I'm wondering if that's just a design fad right now or if it means something. Sphene must be overjoyed to be so welcomed by her countrymen. For their sakes, we need to bring her back safely. It is a relief to be freed from my indecision. Until I had removed my regulator, I hadn't realized quite how heavy it weighed upon me. I'm glad we were able to hear the will of the Alexandrian people. Now it falls to us to see the rest of it through. Hello, remember me? The hunter from the Thunder Yards? It's been a while, but we met when you first arrived in the dome. You've been talking with Lithander and the others, and thanks to some very convincing arguments, we've come around to the idea that we need to start taking responsibility for the future of our nation. There are those like us who rely on regulators for their work, and others who aren't quite ready to give up what they have, but we all share a desire to make things better. Did everybody? Did we talk to everybody? Yeah. Everyone was so warm and welcoming. Alexandrians are, as ever, a stalwart people. How glad I am to be home. Thank you, Gosan. That decision must have been difficult to make. If only I could claim the courage to do so If I could only claim the courage to do so came from within. The final push came from Alexandria's citizens, and their bravery in taking the first step toward change. Speaking of which, can I ask you to lock that neo-regulator away where no one can get to it? That should prevent the registrations from reaching the target number. I should be glad to do so, but I fear it will be to no avail. According to our most recent surveys, the number of regulators in the circulation exceeds the stated 5,000. I surmise those surplus units are to account for those like myself who have had a change of heart, or are otherwise hesitant to register. That does sound like something Calyx would do. Well, we have to face him either way, so no point in delaying the inevitable. On to living memory. I am really loving the music in this section. There's just like been a lot of music that I've really enjoyed.
Things seem much the same.
So listen, you have nothing more to fear than any other normal day. Deep breaths. We'll get through this.
You'd be telling them much the same if you were here. I suppose it falls to me now.
Oh. Okay. That's kind of sweet. I cannot remember how to get to... Where is Layla Nemno? Oh, I'm not traveling all... Oh, I'm already well past 3 hours in, so it's like, what the hell? Just keep going. I'm gonna send well, I suppose. Actually, nah, I'm just gonna teleport there. Oh, he didn't turn it on. It's still all off. He was just projecting. See, that's what we turned off right there. And that's what was on the screen. I'd scarcely awakened here when I fell unconscious. Now that I can fully enjoy the gentle silence of this place, it brings tears to my eyes. Last time I had to wait in the cenote, but there's nothing to stop me from joining this fight. Seems Alphino and Alice were the ones to explain to Koana our need to enter the cenote. He urged us to be extremely careful, of course. Coming here reminds me of my parents, of the courage they gave me. It is good to rejoin you all. I needed to step away briefly that I might make arrangements for a certain precautionary measure. Alphino always looking ahead. We've all been so busy. It seems an age since we last gathered in such a manner. I must say, we do make for a formidable group. Ah, 'tis good to see our comrades hale and girded for battle. As for us, we've been ahead to inspect the lay of the land. There were no changes of note, aside from with the mesoterminal itself. Why? What's happened to the mesoterminal? The wall has receded to provide a convenient entrance into the structure's interior. There was no such ingress when last we were here, so we must assume that Calyx has since manipulated the terminal's electrope. All to facilitate his most gracious invitation to the upper levels. An invitation I am eager to accept. For the sake of all who love Alexandria, I will not yield nor leave them to despair. Always critical hit. A terminal invitation. Y'shtola would proceed to the mesoterminal. I believe everyone determined to be here is present and accounted for. Shall we make our way to the terminal? We wouldn't wish to keep our insistent host waiting. Is this going to be another duty-driven 8-man group? Actually, just one thing I do want to share before we... So this whole area is turned off. And this thing used to be all light and life. Well, figuratively speaking. Oh, that's right, I can't do that. No, wait, yeah, yes I can. Yeah, this is what it used to look like. And then you turn it off. So you turn off Disneyland, basically. Here's a roller coaster. Unfortunately, you don't actually get to go on it. It was very unhappy for Boof that he had to turn this off. It's actually quite hard. Like, if they had told it properly, it would have been actually quite heartbreaking. But the writing did not actually get good until, like, now, basically. I mean, predictable is not bad. It's just... Alright, let's see how we do. So this is where the former queen's memories were stored. And she herself tried to erase them. Even as an endless, her resolve was so strong that she would kill her heart to become the cold machine she believed she needed to be. Living memory is steeped with the dense lightning ether of the Ninth. This pervasive energy must be what the terminal utilizes as a power source. Yes, yeah, he was not like Intensity 6 or like, he would still go on the big ones, but he would not like, he'd go because his sister went, really is really what it would be like. but not because he really wanted. He like, the best he could do is probably the teacups, honestly. I remember little of my awakening. The paralysis yet lingered, and my eyes could barely focus. When we shut down all the minor terminals, we watched as the Endless faded away. I do not believe that was a performance staged to deceive us. As for the Meso terminal, however, it had already grown dark by the time we had returned from the virtual domain. While I'm loath to admit it, it is possible its true appearance was hidden from us in our absence, which is why we must bring this tale to its denouement by our own hand. He loves the teacups. You're right, he does love the teacups. It hadn't occurred to me that one might physically enter the terminal, though I suppose it makes sense when you think about it. A structure for creating Endless would have required maintenance administered by corporeal hands. An endless existence for the evolution of mankind. I understand what he strives for, but not what drives him to do so with such ruthlessness. Well, here we are again, facing another battle to decide Alexandria's fate. For 4 centuries I slept here. Upon awakening, I found the world as I knew it. I found the world as I knew it had changed. I was so frightened at first, I couldn't recognize a single thing, and thought everything I loved had gone to dust. Yet, beneath the unfamiliar surface, much remained the same. For that, I give thanks to Otis and Zelenia and their royal knights, who lay their lives on the line to defend our way of life. I thank every Alexandrian who believed in our future and passed on our legacy. I thank my other self, who so loved this kingdom of ours. And I thank you all for kindling this hope in my heart, this courage to take up arms and fight once more. So let us make our stand together and fight for what we hold dear. The kind and gentle Queen Sphene was too weak to serve her people, and so she will serve them no more. Freed from conscience, I shall become a ruler that can protect Alexandria, a devourer of worlds. Together we stand, together we fight. Or, we will rise to the challenge that the Endless Fiend could not. No, together we stand, together we fight. You have my gratitude, and surely Otis and Zelenia will join us in spirit. Let's head inside and finish this. In the upper reaches of this terminal awaits the device which holds Calix's memories. It falls to us to make the climb and destroy it once and for all. Aye, we must bring matters to a definitive end. We will not suffer him to cause Alexandria further harm nor claim the key. The Queen entrusted it to Samari for good reason. And besides, 'twould be a tragedy indeed to relinquish a relic with so much research potential. Apparently, Calix thinks he's taken your measure. I urge you to correct that misguided assumption. I wholeheartedly concur, yet would still counsel caution. That he would be so bold as to extend us an invitation bespeaks tremendous confidence in his preparations. Come, friends, we set forth into the midst of dreaming Endless. Should I call it there? We have no idea what Calix may have planned for us. Alice and I have prepared for every eventuality, yet still... Nay, you must be free to lead our charge unhindered by doubt. As you press onwards, we shall guard the flanks. If my parents were indeed executed by preservation, for me this will not only be a fight for the greater good, this will be justice. If I am to add an addendum to Grandfather's account of the Golden City, then let it be a rousing good one, eh? That actually does sound like Kral. It's beyond knowing how Calyx has advanced his plans for endless conversion for the past 400 years. I do know, however, that pursuing an objective for lengthy spans requires an unyielding will, especially when that objective entails changing the world as we know it. Calyx is a foe possessed of both considerable focus and resolve. We would do well to recognize it as such. As a vow of resolve, or even as just a comrade, I see myself making a lot of promises. I mean to honor every last one of them, starting with the oath I swore to the Endless Fiend. Even if it's just a memory, I want to think of her smiling at that promise kept. The Alexandria of today has seen countless lives come and go. My other self took their grief and fear and rage upon herself in service to our kingdom. Around me are gathered those willing to give their all to fulfill the promise they made to her. How can I do any less? Alexandrians must be free to believe that more than sadness awaits them, that tomorrow can be better than today. Calyx's scheme to forfeit flesh to gain immortality calls to mind the Ea, not that informing him of their fate would do much to dissuade him. Convinced though you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire. Such was my reply to the Ea's warnings, so I know of a little something of refusing to listen save when confronted with incontrovertible proof of my error. The Ea were the are these sort of like people who have transcended their physical existence and exist kind of like as spirits. They're animated as like kind of ghost-like people in the previous expansion, and they lose faith and desire in. They lose all meaning of life when they discover the heat death of the universe. So they're like, well, they're immortal, but it doesn't mean anything. We're all going to die anyway. So it's like they just like give up. I really do think you take on too much from too many people, and yet it's never the wrong choice. The Queen gave you the key for a reason, so I'll be damned if I let Calyx steal it. Alright. Yeah, that is like 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is me. Ugh. And you still... you still only choose 4. I thought there was going to be an 8-man event. She's a DPS strictly. An Arcanist. So she will probably be summoning carbuncles. Victomancer, Red Mage, Sorceress. Oh, we're all magic. Magic, 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 magic. And I'm magic. Sage and Allrounder. Well, yeah, I knew he was always going to be a Sage.
'Twould be a pleasure as always.
Yeah, no.
Stand ever ready.
Yeah, being that this is...
I won't let you down.
Victory will be ours.
Let's give it our all. I won't let you down. I too can fight.
'Twould be a pleasure as always. I stand ever ready. Let's get to it.
Yeah, if this was going to be an 8-man, I would have actually done it. But since it's 4-man, I think I'll call it there. I'll do this tomorrow. Oh, and this is not a place you can log out, so... I'll just move elsewhere. Which is just over here. Yeah, I'm doing this tomorrow. It's already 7 in the morning. And I need to be up in 3 hours. Just like the olden days. I'm getting too old for this. But we'll see. Especially if this is actually going to be the end, there's going to be credits afterwards, and I am not going to be alive for that, so... I think I'll call it there. But that was quite an event. That was a lot more involved than I expected it to be. I guess there were a few good stopping points here and there. But it was my actual intention to either complete the first fight or get the prior to the first fight, and it looks like, well, 3 hours in, we're barely at the first fight, so I think I'm going to call it there. I'm actually getting really exhausted, and I need to at least get a nap before I go to work today. So I will call it there, and I will bid you all good night or good morning. Take care.